Are you married? Ever been married? Deciding how to draw Social Security is even more complicated for you. I've got 4 rules for drawing Social Security for spouses. That and more coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. How you draw Social Security, when you draw it, and your claiming strategy, one of the most important financial decisions you're going to make in your lifetime. And even if you've saved a lot for retirement, and I hope you have, because Social Security is only going to account for maybe roughly a third of what you need, still, we're talking about, over your lifetime, we're talking about $1 million or more that you could collect in Social Security, and therefore how you draw it is significantly important. Well, if you're married, or if you've ever been married, you've got more complexity. You've got more to figure out to determine, well, what's the right claiming strategy for you? Should you draw right away? Should you wait till your full retirement age? What's the impact? And that is, the rules for drawing Social Security when you've been married, or if you are married, they're confusing. They're confusing. Therefore, you've always got to be working with your certified financial planner who understands the rules and can work through those with you, talk through the different scenarios, and help you come up with the optimal way to draw Social Security for your situation. So certainly, this is no substitute for working with your CFP on your individual financial situation, your unique financial situation, but wanted to go through a few rules, 4 of them, for drawing Social Security if you've been married or if you have a spouse. First, you can claim your Social Security off of your spouse's Social Security. That's right, you get to claim, here's how that works. If you're married, you get to claim your Social Security or half of your spouse's Social Security, whichever's higher. Now, there are still rules regarding, are you drawing at an early age, whatever. There still would be reductions to your Social Security if you drew before your full retirement age. But you get, when you're married and you sign up for Social Security, you get your Social Security or half of your spouse's, whichever is higher. And I get this question all the time. Well, if I draw off of my spouse's record, does that reduce theirs? No, they still get their full record. They still get their full Social Security, and you get half of it as well. You just can't get both your own and half of your spouse's at the same time. You're going to get the higher of the two. So what's the qualifier for that? Well, obviously they've got to be your spouse, but they've got to be at least age 62 and drawing benefits. That's right. You can't draw off of your spouse's record when they're not collecting benefits just yet. But that's the rule number 1. If you're married, you get your own Social Security or half of your spouse's, whichever's higher. Second, if you are going to claim off of your spouse's record, the maximum amount that you can get is by them waiting until their full retirement age. Okay, now this is confusing because you might not be the exact same age as your spouse. Okay, and therefore, again, your financial situation is unique. You can't compare it to your neighbors and look at what they did, or your coworker and look at what they did when they retired. Your financial situation is unique, so you've got to work with your certified financial planner. But if you're aware of the normal Social Security rules, you can draw as early as 62. There's a reduced benefit if you draw early. The maximum, like your full Social Security, is your full retirement age. That's typically around 67. But you can delay further, and your Social Security will continue to grow about 8% per year until you reach age 70. And so if you're looking at claiming as a spouse, you might say, well, I'm going to have my spouse delay their Social Security until age 70, and then I'll draw half of theirs, and they'll collect their age 70 amount. I'll collect half of their age 70 amount, and wow, we're really going to maximize this system. No, spousal benefits cap at your spouse's full retirement age. Therefore, if your spouse, if you know you're going to draw off of your spouse's record, and again, everyone's situation is different, it's likely that they're going to want to start claiming at their full retirement age, okay? Because then you would get half of that amount. If they said, nah, I'm going to keep working. I'm going to work until, or I'm going to delay Social Security until 68 or 69 or 70, and then they start claiming, and then you're able to claim half of theirs, you only get half of their full retirement age amount, even though they delayed Social Security and they're drawing a higher amount. Therefore, to maximize the spousal benefit, your spouse should wait to claim Social Security until they reach their full retirement age, and then you obviously wait until your full retirement age, so you're not getting a reduction as well. Third spousal rule for Social Security, for claiming Social Security, you can actually claim Social Security off of a divorced spouse's record. That's right. If you've been married and you're divorced, that same rule applies. You either get yours or half of your divorced spouse, your ex-spouse, whichever is higher. You've got to meet additional criteria though. Again, your ex-spouse needs to be at least age 62. You have had to been married to them for at least 10 years, and you cannot have remarried. Those are the three criteria. Many people think, and there's some confusion here. Many people think that, well, if my ex-spouse remarries, if they remarry, then I'm unable to claim off of their record. No, that's actually not true. It's if you remarry, now you're unable to claim off of your ex-spouse. Different rules apply if you're a widower and then you remarry. Okay, this is in a divorce situation. So you've got to be at least age 62. The marriage has to have lasted at least 10 years, and you can't have remarried. Finally, many people, because again, it's a divorce, so many people think that, well, if my ex draws off of my Social Security, it's going to reduce my Social Security. That is not true. So again, like flipping the scenario here, if you decide that it's better, or you see that it's better to draw, again, either your own Social Security or half of your spouse's, whichever is higher, if the half of your spouse's is higher, that's not going to reduce your ex-spouse's benefit in any way. You get either your Social Security or half of your ex-spouse's, and that doesn't influence their benefit either. So not something you need to worry about. A lot of times we get that question when we're discussing the optimal claiming strategy. That's not an issue that you need to worry about. If you've been divorced, if you've been married for at least 10 years and now divorced, working with your certified financial planner to manage and figure out how to optimize Social Security for your situation, even more important due to the complexity. Now, the fourth rule for spousal Social Security when you're drawing Social Security and you're married is you can no longer file just one type of strategy. You can no longer they've cut out two different loopholes, okay? And you can no longer do a restricted application where you're saying, you know what? I want to just draw the half of my spouse's and I'll let mine continue to grow. That's a restricted application, and that's no longer allowed. You're deemed, when you claim Social Security, you are deemed to have decided to draw either yours or half of your spouse's, whichever is higher. There's no way to say, no, I just want to do half of my spouse's and let mine continue to grow. That used to be a strategy, no longer applied. And then there's no longer the strategy of file and suspend. I mentioned at the beginning, you can claim off of your spouse's record. They've got to be collecting benefits. By the way, that's not true. If you're claiming off of a divorced spouse, your divorced spouse does not need to be collecting benefits for you to claim off of them. If you're married, you cannot do well, I'm going to file and then I'll just pause my benefit. And by doing that, now my spouse is able to claim off of mine. This was another strategy that they removed several years ago, almost a decade now. And it goes back to the root of it is that, well, if it makes sense for you to delay your Social Security and you want to delay, but your spouse is going to be drawing off of your record, then you filing and then suspending, saying, no, actually, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna delay. There used to be a loophole. Well, then your spouse was allowed to draw half of your Social Security. They closed that loophole. So those are a handful of the unique rules for drawing Social Security when you're married, when you've got a spouse, or when you've been divorced. There's more than that. So there again, you've got to be working with your certified financial planner, looking at all 6 areas of your financial life, doing comprehensive financial planning, and in your unique situation, looking at all the different ways you could draw Social Security, the circumstances that need to be considered, and then optimizing Social Security for your situation. Your CFP can help with that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well. Or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.